Alright, what's up, YouTube? Alright, so I see everybody on here doing their coming out stories, so that kind of like, you know, inspired me to do one, you know, for the kids who's having a hard time, struggling to come out to their families, you know, whatever it may be, gay, lesbian, transsexual, transgender, the whole family. But yeah, mine was not really like a coming out story because I did not volunteer the information. I did not want it to be out there like that. But my mom Dukes did her snooping around, and she got what she was looking for. But basically, it happened around 1999. Okay, I was 14 years old, going on 15, and I had been gay all along. You know, I started to do gay stuff when I was 7 and 8 years old, like not knowing that it was gay, lesbian, not knowing what it was all about. At the age of 7, I found myself like playing hide and seek with girls. Like we were like touching and kissing and shit, but not knowing what it was. So, you know, we were doing that. I did that with one girl at the age of 7. We moved away from that place where I stayed, where I was doing these things with this girl. We moved into another place. Now, by me being 7 years old, I'm not knowing what I'm doing is considered gay, mind you. I'm not knowing what I'm doing is even something that I'm going to be doing for when I get older. I'm just, you know, doing this. So when we moved, I was 8 years old. I'm finding myself doing this again with another girl. You know, when you're young, you play hide and seek, and, you know, you do other things. So me and this girl, we was doing that, playing hide and seek. We were under the staircase of the apartment complex, kissing, touching, not seriously like going in depth with the touching because we don't know as far as just you show me, I show you, let's just touch, you know. That's what we was doing, not no touching like y'all may be thinking about. But still, I'm not knowing what's up with that. The older I get, middle school, well, you know, fourth and fifth grade, elementary, I'm not having these thoughts at all. Middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, I'm like seeing girls and I'm like, yeah, you know, she's pretty. But, you know, nothing really registered in my mind like I'm gay or something like that because, I mean, it may sound funny, but even in middle school, I didn't know what gay was. I haven't even heard of gay. I haven't even seen no gay on TV. I haven't seen anything gay. A lot of people saying because when you're gay, you had to see something on TV or somebody molested you or something like that. Some people, that's the case or whatever, but, I mean, I come from a nice family. Nobody did nothing to me. And I haven't seen nothing on TV that made me say, oh, that's what I'm going to be or that's what I am. I'm going to try to imitate what they're doing. And I never even knew what the fuck gay was until I was in high school. And so in middle school, I'm like looking at these girls and stuff, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? She's pretty, you know? And I'm just like, you know. So in middle school, a lot of boys liked me or whatever. I had the long hair or whatever. So, you know, I didn't like them, but I didn't want to be like, no, I don't want to talk with you over the phone. I don't want to chill with you because I didn't know what was really wrong with me, you know. I didn't want to accept what was wrong with me. So, I mean, a lot of guys like me, and they were like writing me letters in school, in middle school. You know the letter, will you go out with me and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I didn't want to say yes, but it came to a point where I was kind of tired of dudes asking me that. like asking me, do you want to be my girlfriend and all this. And then it came to a point I got kind of tired of like all my friends having boyfriends and like me not, and people wondering why the fuck she ain't got no boyfriend, what the fuck's up with her, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, eventually I told this one dude, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend. I wrote yes. I checked yes on the box. So, you know, me and him was talking on the phone or whatever, and we was making good conversation. But when it was time for us to go chill, you know, like on little dates, we found ourselves like, I'm like into what he's into. Like, he's telling me about rap and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm all into it. He's like telling me about his PlayStation game. I'm like all into it. I'm like, let's go shoot some hoops, because back then I was like all into hoops and shit. Like, let's go shoot hoops. Like, I was so into like the shit he was into, to a point like it was like a best friend type of situation. It wasn't like no, okay, you my girlfriend situation, you know. Even though I know a lot of guys would kill to have a girlfriend who's into what they're into, but it wasn't really going down like that with me. So they would get tired of that, like me not doing anything with them sexually, or really like having no chemistry in this passionate way. Just like I'm coming to chill with them all the time. They get tired of that, and they was like dumping me and shit. So I mean, you know, so I had people like asking me, like they used to see me because I was, you know, dressed in tomboy or whatever, and people used to say, are you gay? And I didn't want to tell them. I would be like, no, I'm bi, because like every gay person knows it's easier to say you bi, because for some reason in the heterosexual world to be bi is more acceptable than to be fully lesbian or fully gay. So you will see a lot of in denial people, or people who don't want to fully come out. They will tell their parents or their friends that I'm bi. You, even guys, girls, they will say I'm bi. But really you saying that because you don't want your family to say, oh my God, she fully likes pussy. Or you don't want your family to say, oh my God, he fully likes penis, you know. So you would just be like in the middle, so you would just lie or whatever. So I was telling everybody I'm bi on the streets, but you know, my family, they know this of me. So in high school, I was dressing like a girl or whatever. I was even on the cheerleading squad and all that, you know what I'm saying? So my mom put me in that shit though. But I had told myself, you know what I'm saying, I was in ninth grade, I told myself, if I don't make junior varsity squad for cheerleading next year, I'm just going to come out and dress how I want to dress and be who I want to be. I had told myself that. So, you know, tryouts came out for junior varsity for next year. I had already been on JV the year prior. And I didn't make the squad, so, you know, I ended up switching the game up and dressing how I wanted to dress. Even though I was dressing like that, my mom did not know. My mom ended up tricking me. You know, back then, Ricky Lake was out. Ricky Lake was popular. Ricky Lake, she always had like a lot of gay people on her show. So my mom used to stay watching Ricky Lake, and that's what really got her knowing more and more about, a little bit more about gay people, because she knew of gay people, but she didn't really know, you know, what it was all about. So, you know, one day she called me to her room, and she just got done watching Ricky Lake. So she was like, Short Dog. She didn't say Short Dog, she said my real name, but whatever. So she was like, are you gay? And my heart freaking dropped, because I'm like, what the fuck would make her ask me little shit like this? So I'm like, no. I went off. I wasn't even like supposed to be, you know, I'm cursing my mom or whatever. I was just going off. I was like, why the hell would you ask me that dumbass question? Hell no, I ain't with that nasty shit. That's just nasty. You know, I'm just like perpetrating or whatever. But she was like, Oh, okay, I'm just asking. Then she had the audacity to say, well, I already know you are because I read a letter that was in your room from a girl. That right there, that had me like, what the fuck? First of all, she was in my room snooping, and I mean, like, you already know. I guess you want to hear it out of the horse's mouth. So why you asking me when you already invaded my privacy? You already read what you need to read to find out. But you know, so 14 years old, whatever. I didn't have any sexual experience with a girl at that time, but this girl was liking me or whatever, and she wrote me a letter, and I had it in my drawer, my dresser drawer at my house, and my mom happened to, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but she happened to open it and read it, and read all this that this girl confessed to me, and that's how she found out. So I was flipping when she, she fronted me with this. So we had an argument, and I just, went to my room like, it ain't nothing. I ain't calling no friends, I ain't calling nobody, I ain't know who to tell, because my friends didn't really even know. They had like a suspicion, So, when my dad got home, she was talking to him about it, I can tell. I stayed in my room the whole day because I didn't want to be seen. But all I know, the very next day, before that whole week, was hell. I was living in hell with my parents. The very next day, my parents told me, oh, it's a lot going to be changed around here. Your curfew has changed. I'm like, my curfew changed? For what? I'm like, because I'm gay, all of a sudden I have an earlier curfew, or, I mean, like, then, like, every time my friends would call the phone, because that's back then when you had to be like a baller to have a cell phone, back in the 90s, so, I ain't have no cell phone or whatever, so my friends was calling the house phone. Wasn't, no gay friends or nothing. I didn't have any gay friends. It was straight females, my friends who I grew up with. And my mom knew them, and but she was just going fucking crazy. Any girl that called the house for me, she thought it was a girl who I was involved with. So any girl called the house for me, she'd be answering the phone and like, yeah, bitch, don't call my house again, and slamming the phone on them. And it was like embarrassing because I go to school and like all my friends like, damn, what's up with your mom? Your mom tripping or whatever. But they didn't even know that she found out my situation, so, I mean, I couldn't accept no phone calls. Everybody called for me, my mom would totally cuss them out and hang up on them. Then it was treating me different. Like, the vibe felt so cold in the house. It was treating me different. Like, they kept on saying, well, you can't do this now because you're gay. And, like, why, because I'm gay or whatever, it got something to do with what I've been doing in my everyday life. If I go outside and go hang with such and such, or if I go to the movies with my friends, I can't all of a sudden do it now because y'all find out I'm gay. Like, what's supposed to be the difference? I don't know. But I was living like that for about a week and a half. I just got so fucking tired of it, I broke down. I just left the house one night, called myself about to run away. So I just left the house, walked the block, trying to get my mind at ease, just walking around or whatever. And I ain't had nowhere to go as far as like anybody who can relate to me in this situation, because like I said, all my friends were straight. They ain't had this problem. So I'm just like, me and my grandmother, we don't talk on an everyday basis like that, but it's always like grandma knows best type of shit. So I end up walking back home, just standing outside in the driveway thinking and shit. My parents didn't even know I ended up coming back home. They knew I was gone all that night. They was looking for me or whatever. They didn't know I came back and was just standing in the driveway, just thinking. So, like, I happened to see somebody walking by, and I asked them, can I borrow their phone? So I ended up calling my grandmother, and my grandmother was like, I was like, I said it a little bit different to my grandmother. I told my grandmother, yeah, my mom and dad giving me heat because they think I'm gay. That's what I told my grandmother. I didn't want to say because I'm gay, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, they think I'm gay, so they've been treating me wrong. So my grandma was like, oh, we been knew that. We told your mama that years ago. Your mom was in denial when we told her that. And I'm like, okay. I was surprised to hear that because I never knew that my family suspected. I never even knew my grandmother suspected. I ain't know nobody suspected. And to hear my grandmother say that, we been knew that and we told your mama that years ago when she was in denial, I mean, in a way it was like a relief for her to say they been knew that. So what happened was she said, well, let me talk to your mom. I'm going to talk to your mom. I'm going to call your mom right now. I'm going to talk to your mom. So I'm like, So I don't know what my grandmother said to my mom, but all I know, she called my mom. At that point, I just walked inside the house. I felt comfortable going there. I walked in there, went to my room, and my grandmother, I heard the phone ring. My grandmother called my mom. I don't know what she said. But from that day forward, my mom and dad never gave me no heat. They didn't even bug me about being gay, lesbian, whatever. They didn't even bug me about it. And to this day, I don't know what my grandmother said. But when we used to get in an argument, like every now and then, my mom was like, yo, dyke ass, like she would say stuff like that when we get in arguments about anything. And she say that like that's hurting my feelings, but it don't hurt my feelings because I am that, that's what I want to be. I mean, not really want it to be that, but that's what my destiny was. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? So she she never, out of respect for my mom, as a teen, I never brought a girl to my mom's house. I never brought a girlfriend around there. Never even told her about a girlfriend. Far as she know, my first girlfriend was when I was 19 years old, and I was dating an older woman. Now, she ended up knowing about that, and not because of me, because of the woman kept calling her. Every time we get into something, she would call my mother. And I didn't even feel comfortable for my mom to be like all involved in my lesbian, situation or whatever. And my mom was I'm kind of glad that the person was calling my mom every time we get in an argument, because my mom was kind of breaking down barriers, like getting a little bit more accepting the situation that, I'm a lesbian, whatever. Because the older woman ended up calling my mom one day and was like, yeah, we're going through it. We're not even sleeping together no more. And I didn't even know that. Like, my mom ended up telling me that, and I'm like, well, what the fuck she called my mom saying that? But the way my mom was telling me, she was like giving me advice as far as couples is like, she wasn't like acting a fool, like you sleeping with a woman, So, by the person doing that, I didn't respect the fact that she was calling my mom saying stuff like this, but she was breaking barriers because my mom started to get more and more accepted because this girl was putting my mom more into our relationship. I was ended up living with the girl or whatever. And I still didn't feel comfortable for my mom to see me in that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I was 19, 20 years old, and I didn't feel comfortable for that, for my mom to be, hearing my girl problems with girls and all that. So, when she used to visit me where I live with the female, we had a 2-bedroom. I used to tell my mom, yeah, this is my room and that's her room. And my mom not dumb, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I know they in the same room together, but I didn't want to admit, like, Mom, yeah, this is that, so I just be like, Mom, this is my room, and that's her room, whatever. But she knew, but, like I said, the girl started breaking barriers by even telling my mom this information. So yeah, I appreciate the fact that she did start breaking barriers. Now I'm 28 years old. I've been out since since I was 14, 1999. And I'm 28 years old right now. I mean, I don't bring no females around my mom, and but we do talk. Like, she's like, who you like now? Who you dating now? And like, girls come around, but not like that. They'll come by when I'm visiting my mom. They'll come by and just come by for a little while, say hey, but not to the point where my mom is actually engaging in a relationship where all of us going out to eat, or all of us hanging, or all of us talking. But she do talk to me, like, who's my interest now or whatever. And she's getting more involved, because, like I said, it's been since 1999 that she found out, in 2012 now. So she definitely has come a long ways of accepting me. So, I mean, now I even tell her, like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody now. It's certain things I tell her to the point, but I don't get all in depth with it, My dad, he's just a laid-back dude. He's like, he don't really like that kind of stuff, but, that, I mean, if I was a son, he'll be probably pissed. But by me being the daughter, they're a little bit more, dad's a little bit more lenient for the girls, versus mom's going to like, damn, my daughter's not going to be in a wedding dress, and I'm going to have grandkids. But, if it was a dad and a son, dad's going to be like, oh my God, so it's a little bit different. But my advice to people who's coming out, want to come out, thinking about coming out, you need to, because you gotta be true to yourself. You got one life to live, and you know that YOLO that everybody's saying or whatever. You got one life to live or whatever. I mean, you need to do what's best for you. You need to live your life, and you gotta just be happy for real, because you can't live for other people. Everybody, they may make fun of you. You're gonna have some ignorant people who's gonna say some shit about you or whatever. I still get people look at me crazy, like, I mean, they don't look at me crazy just for the gay side. They look at me crazy like, okay, she look at that on her fucking, she got all the tattoo on her neck. I just got a whole bunch of strikes against me right now, but I don't give a damn. I'm having a good time living life or whatever. But it's best to do you and come out. I mean, you feel suppressed. It's depressing when you in a cage and you don't have nobody to talk to about what's going on with you. I feel like 10 times better knowing that my family will accept me, 10 times better. And I mean, you're gonna get discriminated. Ain't no way around it. Sometimes you're gonna get discriminated. That's just reality, for real. There's gonna be some people who are not gonna understand you, not gonna understand where you're coming from. But I mean, me and my friends, I mean, I don't hang out with too many gay people, but the ones that I do associate myself with, when we even go out to clubs or something like that, we get discriminated against, because they're like, you ain't supposed to be dressing like that. One club told us, you ain't supposed to be dressing like that. You need to be wearing high heels to come up in here. I'm like, okay, this is a free fucking country. It's different if you're saying, we ain't supposed to be wearing no sneakers, dress shoes. But you telling us we can't come in here with dress shoes on. We gotta be wearing high heels to get up in this club. Like, that's fucking discriminating. But they only doing that shit because they see what we are, and they don't want us in there. Point blank, period. So it's just like. But on the real, keep true to yourself. Keep it 100 with yourself. Like, it's your life. You gotta live your life. So anybody want questions about the situation of how to come out to your people, I ain't gonna tell you exactly what you gotta do, because everybody's parents are different. But I can pretty much, give you some facts, how to make that ride a little smooth, But yeah, this short dog 100. Get at me. Nice talking to y'all. And keep the love, and I